Well, we're back to that 70s build, the Norwegian Leopard 1. I missed a couple things in the original one. I added a box up front, storage box up front. I think they were for skis. And I also put on the infrared searchlight on the turret, which I had originally left off, because looking at some of the pictures I thought they didn't have it, and going back, yes, they did have it mounted. So I've mounted the searchlight on. Right now it is in Tamiya NATO Black, which is a very, very, very black green. So I'm trying to find a winter tank commander with a beret. Now I found someone I could use, but there's no berets around. There I could see all the Norwegian tankers wore a beret. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. This one, the one they supply, yeah, it's very 1970s Tamiya. I guess that's the whole point of that 70s build. But if it's not going to fit in with where it's going, I may have to do a little bit of changes on it. I'm not sure which. You know, I could just swap heads. There's an idea. I can just swap heads. All right. Yeah, I'm glad when that plan just comes together like that. There we are. I'll just swap heads. Yeah, okay. So, that 70s build coming right along. I'm gonna try and get in some paint. Later, guys. Well, as you can see, that 70s build's coming right along. I think I've said this before, but I really suck at doing build-up videos. I tend to just jump ahead and start going without. Yeah. So she's in paint. I hope this is right. I have no clue. I couldn't find any good reference photos on Norwegian tanks whatsoever, especially the Leopard 1. So what I went and did had right here is the NATO Black. I use that as an undercoat. That's the Tamiya NATO Black. And the brighter green here is a Vallejo color, which I just grabbed and started mixing colors. So, sorry. It's a Vallejo color. And I masked it off. It looked like shite, so I brought it upstairs and added a third green, which is Vallejo reflective green. This darker, more olivey green is a Vallejo reflective green. And I just did it in kind of a splinter camouflage. It should be a lot sharper. From the pictures that I have been able to glean from it, these should be much sharper points and all that. But we're going with the winter camouflage scheme on it next, guys. So we've got that. So we'll have a winter camo scheme on it. And we'll probably be adding some netting to it as well to hide this horrible barrel seam, which I can't get rid of. Yeah, the barrel seam just won't go away. And I see a couple other seams just popped out at me. My goodness, it's amazing when you change color, lighting, different lighting, how everything looks differently. All of a sudden there's a shadow and, oh, I didn't see that seam before. I thought it was all good. So there's a little tip. If you take anything away from this, different lighting definitely gives you different shadowing and shows up your oopses a little bit more. So I will try, like hell, to shoot a video when I shoot some white on this. Hey guys. Alright, we're going to throw some white paint on this. We're going to throw some white camo on it. I forgot the base color, the lighter green here, is a 1-to-1 mixture of green zinc chromate and NATO green. That gave me the much brighter non-standard NATO color. I had forgotten that last video I shot what it was, but there it is. So we're going to do some painting. So what are we going to use? We're going to use Tamiya flat white, and we're going to do a hard edge demarcation on this, and we are going to use poster putty blue tack. Blue tack is what it's called. I like using Tamiya. If you're going to use Tamiya, get yourself one of these little mixers. They work like a damn. This one's already thinned down. It might even be thinned down a little bit too much. We'll pop this second one open. It's nice and thick. There we go. So number one thing that you guys need to start with, if you're going to airbrush it, have a clean airbrush. Doesn't matter what brand it is, make sure it is super, super clean. A clean airbrush is the most important thing there is. 99% of problems with your airbrush is going to be cleaning related. As in, dude, your airbrush ain't clean enough. That's why you're having problems. You're getting spits, you're getting speckles, you're getting this or that. Start with cleaning your airbrush and then go for adjusting your pressure. Two top problems with airbrushing. Number one problem is friggin' dirty airbrush. Number two problem is not enough pressure or too much pressure. Now there's not, at least I couldn't find a lot of information on Norwegian armor. It seemed to be a fairly small armored force, primarily up in the northern end of the country. And there are a few videos, pictures on Wikipedia and whatnot with the leopards in snow colors. So what we're going to do, unlike the hard edge splinter scheme I've shown here, it is going to be a hard edge, but it's not going to be so symmetrical. It'll be more, it'll be a little rounder, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not going to be so hard edge lined. It will be hard edged, but it won't be square cuts. It'll be softer lines. Now we're going to keep this pretty free form, guys. Now the areas that I am masking off, or not well, I guess I am masking off, that we're putting the putty on, are the areas that are going to remain either green or black or whatever. Everything else that's going to be open is what you're going to have for white camo. That's going to be all the white stuff. Now see tears like that in your putty, you don't want that. So what you can do is you just take them around, roll them, put them together like this, flip them in, double them up, and just keep a nice, reasonably square edge on this. Now, the pictures I've seen, a lot of these tanks have an awful lot of white up in the front end. Tiny little bit of green showing, but predominantly the whole front end of these are pretty much all white. So we'll stick with that same basic motif of having an awful lot of white with just a tiny little bit of camo on it. So let me shut this off and I'll finish masking it up. Okay, when you take this fresh poster tack, or blue tack, pull a little bit out like that, cut it with the utility blade, lay it down, and just take a bottle like this. I'm going to reposition the camera here, guys. That's better. Take a bottle like this and then just roll the blue tack out. Make it a little bit thinner. A little thinner blue tack is actually easier to run than the thick stuff. So knock it back by about half. Now these aren't nearly wide enough, so we'll just cut it like that and then we'll just double it up. Like this. You can also roll it out a bit with your thumb. To make it look a little bit wider. There, just that simple. Let's I'll shut this off so I can get this done here. Alright, we've got this all roughly put out with the blue tack. This is by no means an exact science, guys. Not even close to being exact science. Every single one leopard picture that I was able to find on the web that had the Norwegian camouflage. They all look a little different. So airbrushing. I always like to put a little bit of thinner in and just make sure my airbrush is spraying wet. Always use the thinner recommended by the manufacturer. In this case, I'm using Tamiya XF20. I don't care if you're saving money. It just isn't worth it. The amount of time and effort you put into a model, why dick it up by using, you know, a discount paint, you know, something like a Home Depot or a Canadian Tire paint. Just don't do it, guys. Just spend the extra little bit of money and get the friggin' proper paint, proper thinner. When it comes to cleaning out, Windex works good. I still like just use Tamiya airbrush cleaner and the airbrush cleaner for Vallejo.